Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Ready to switch over? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, people.
Hello. Welcome to
Should
Sonic
probably get this
Colors.
thing. Probably should get rid of this as Eggman unlocked. Eggman Land.
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. There's no Eggman Land in
Colors.
this. Sonic Colors Eggman Land. Oh yeah. Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Sonic Colors. So, if you were expecting Sonic Mania, Zaxxon had like unfortunate power issues right now, so he can't actually do anything. His PC won't turn on. I think they have like a power outage in his area or something, if I read correctly. I just glanced over it. Not sure, but either way,
Yeah.
he asked if anyone could switch, and you know, our runs are roughly the same length, so no problem at all. I'll just do my run a bit earlier. Oh, damn. Tim's hasn't seen a run of this since his own ESA run. That is quite some time ago.
That's like 12 years.
Yeah, man. 12 years. But yeah, I'm ready whenever. So, should I give you a countdown?
Yeah.
Alright. In 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sonic Colors. I'm going to be doing the Shuttle category for this game, which is essentially a challenge mode in the game that goes through every stage in the story, except it's essentially like New Game Plus. So you have all of the wisps unlocked already. They take out all of the cutscenes to minimize the downtime. All that kind of stuff. Also, normally you start every stage with like 0 boost, but in Shuttle the boost carries over. That is roughly what this category is about. It's all about going fast, minimal downtime. It's a fun time. So, let's talk about Sonic's moveset. What does he have? Well, he has, of course, the boosting. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to start carryover boost. What would you use? Yeah, this is one of the boost era Sonic games. This is probably the one with the slowest boost out of the, you know, 3D-ish styles games that are only like half 3D, or in Sonic Colors case like 20% 3D. And yeah, he has got his stomp, his homing attack, his slide, he's got a double jump in this game, which is very nice. I really like the double jump. All the good stuff. Now we also have the unique mechanics to Sonic Colors that got later brought back in games like Sonic Lost World, which is the wisp mechanics, and every wisp has like their own power that can be used by activating it. In the case of drill, you just drill to the ground, very straightforward, and you can hold B to drill faster. Alright, other than that, there's nothing really special going on with drill. It's just very convenient to travel to the ground at various points. And of course you also have the laser right here. Now when you're in 2D you can aim the laser up and down, and when you're in 3D you can aim the laser left and right. Oh boy, that robot was not having any of it. Neither was that one. And you can also use the laser to like kind of redirect where the laser goes by hitting certain diamonds that are spread throughout the stage. There will be a couple of that in here. The game intends you to use the laser in order to take a shortcut here. I'm actually going to be taking that shortcut. Oh. I'm actually going to be failing to take that shortcut. I wanted to jump there, but I get kind of thrown off by hitting the ledge there. So we're taking a long way around. And then we get to see the diamonds in action. And right here. It's gonna redirect me to where I want to go. Gonna use another laser to get further on. And now we're gonna do some more boost, some more drilling. When you're on the ground, there's also these pipes that will redirect you. Can be nice to take. That one, like, debatably doesn't even save any time. Like, it just barely does. Now this robot, yeah, just gonna bounce on his head in order to escape a spring. The spring animations are slow. And I'll also often be jumping over like boost paths and all that kind of stuff, because they mostly regulate your speed rather than actually make you go fast. No worries. Wasted a little bit of time with the slow section, but no big deal. Nothing too exciting going on in Tropical Resort yet. This is very much an introduction to the game. You can kind of see the game mechanics in action. Now, if this looks like part of the first stage to you, that's right, that's exactly that. There's some shorter stages in between, and like a lot of the stages use assets of the other ones. But yeah, there you go, 14-second stage, easy peasy. There's a total of 7 worlds. Well, 6.5 worlds, I should say. You have 6 worlds that all have 6 stages and a boss, and then you have Terminal Velocity, which is... honestly, even calling it half a world would be giving it too much credit. You'll see at the end. But yeah, that is Spike. Spike will let me cling to walls and ceilings and all that kind of stuff, and it unlocks Sonic's Spin Dash ability. It's only available in the 2D sections, unfortunately. Now here I'm going to be taking this path up here, and then failing to jump because I actually got really caught off. Normally the camera doesn't change along there, but this time it did. Still though, already at stage 6. This is also a very fast one. It's already very fast, like without boost, but with like when you have boost here, then you can very easily just get like 12 seconds or faster. I'm gonna use Spike to get there. And now we have the first boss. Now, this guy you gotta hit 3 times. He is actually a pushover. And there's also wisps in the boss fights, and wisps do extra damage. In this case, 2 hits. So, I essentially just completely wrecked this guy. He actually... I'm pretty sure it takes longer for him to completely explode than it does to beat him. It's pretty silly. I also made sure I grabbed the extra boost there, because I can very handily use that right here. Going into the next world, Sweet Mountain. Hope no one's hungry, because, well, there's food everywhere. By roaming against invisible walls there, I could make sure that I like maintained my height a bit and actually end up further up that stuff. Jump over those dash ramps. And now, let's talk a bit about the different kinds of 3D sections, because here you have the drifting sections, and I'm not going to be doing much drifting in the drifting sections. It's usually better to just kind of tap the drift button to turn faster. Other than that, there's the free roaming 3D sections, and then there's also quick step sections. You saw a little bit of that in Tropical Resort Act 3. Take these pipes to get further into the stage. So yes, please do not lick the rides. I don't want to have to deal with your germs all over my seat. Now I'm going to be bouncing on that robot in order to get up here. I was actually trying to get up there without hitting the pulley, because that would have allowed me to skip that trick ramp over there. Unfortunately, I hit the robot like a little bit too low on his head, so I couldn't bounce high enough to get up there. But once you hit that pulley, it sends you into a trigger that locks you to your rail, so you can no longer jump. There's a bunch of cases where I want to avoid stuff, triggers like that. Just lock your movement or lock your speed. This is where one of the first big skips is going to happen. This is one of those quick step sections, by the way. Essentially consists of a couple of lanes that you can switch between. And then another drift section in which I'm not actually going to drift. And now I'm going to be using one of those trick ramps, and depending on how many times I hit the A button, it's going to send me to a different place. I want to hit this one once to get to the rail. Then I'm gonna... Oh, okay. I tried to get like a jump and into a double jump there, but I didn't hold the jump button for long enough, so instead I just did a hop. Otherwise, I could have like avoided a trigger that would once again prevent me from jumping. And that would have allowed me to skip way further into the stage, specifically to where I was just now. Instead, we're taking the backup strats throughout the stage, no problem at all. Did a little bit of a jump off the ramp to skip a fight. It's not the biggest skip in terms of how much time it saves, but it does skip a significant portion of the stage. Anyway, Sweet Mountain Act 3. This is where we're gonna be meeting another Wisp. We're gonna be meeting the Rocket Wisp. It goes up. That's literally it. Like, it has a slow build up and then it goes up. Not all too useful in a lot of places, but it is here. I can activate that early, and then as soon as the Wisp becomes available, it will activate. And I can just go up there. And now here, I will do a little bit of a drift, and then hopefully, if I jump at the right time... Okay. I can get caught... like, my jump can get interrupted by the rail, so I can get into the wrong section. But that's okay. In that case, we're just gonna use Spike. And go slow instead. I wanted to skip to a different section, but sometimes your homing attack gets completely interrupted by the rail, and it will launch you into the wrong section. And you can't backtrack. This game has a nasty habit of like putting invisible walls so you can't backtrack. So, time for our first really big break. This one saves a lot of time. It is a 3D and 2D glitch, which is impressive because the stage is supposed to be entirely 2D. But it's two different 2D sections, and the laser wisp, there's a path for it, and it has to travel in 3D at some point in order to get past that. So I'm going to make my way over to that laser path, grab another laser wisp on my way down, use the loop in order to shoot myself upwards, because I can't actually physically aim upwards when I'm in 3D physics. And then you just skip the rest of the stage by going straight to the goal ring. Easy peasy. Now I'm gonna bounce on this robot. Skip a little bit of fighting there. Now if I can get a good robot bounce here, I cannot. So I'm gonna have to take a slower one. Not that big a problem. That also does mean, though, that I ended up using more boosts, so I'm going to be grabbing this boost can. And then we're just going to use Spike in order to get to the end of the stage. Now, Spike has a pretty insane amount of momentum, and you can see a lot of that in the next stage, because if you cancel the spin dash with an A press, and then immediately do another A press to jump, you can carry all of that momentum over to your jumps to get some really big jumps. Unfortunately, I'm really bad at fast inputs on the same button, so I can't get like super optimal Spike jumps, but I can still skip a good portion of the stage with it. I also
need to play some Miku and get better.
But I alternated Miku, so that wouldn't help him with like single button presses.
Right.
Oh, get down there. Those were extra bad, even worse than I usually do. Spike Wisp is actually a gigantic bully. I specifically have to watch like on which platforms I do a spin dash. Otherwise, he will just glitch out and get stuck or go backwards. Because of the scenery. Now this boss consists of two phases, a ship phase and an actual fighting phase. During the ship phase, I specifically destroy one of the bullets that has a drill wisp in it, so I can do this. Normally I would have to homing attack him 3 times. Instead, I'm just gonna hit him with the drill once, and that will end this phase, which means I only have to do that entire thing twice instead of 3 times. So we get a 2 cycle instead of 3. That time, and the drill wisp was in that bullet. Do a stomp to get to the ground quickly. And we're gonna drill him in the butt. Oh yeah.
Anyway.
I know what I said.
Don't forget, guys. We are having a language bid war between English and Japanese for Sonic Adventure 2 next run. So donate. There's no donations for that yet. So you can pick one with $1 if you want.
$1. $1 is all you need. Anyway, right now we're going into the next section. I'm actually going to be getting rid of my boost here. This is auto running. And there is another auto run section coming up directly after this, where somehow the fastest form of movement is actually air dashing. Not boosting, air dashing. And directly following this is a pretty dang difficult trick. Hopefully I'll get it. It can save me from skipping an entire, it can skip an entire 2D section. So let's go. Alright, got the first part. Let's see if I can get the second part. Got it, nice. That feels good, man. Right. So this stage is absolutely full of auto-running sections and triggers that lock your ability to jump and lock your speed and all that. So what I did is I avoided one of those triggers that is directly below those orange rings by boosting towards it manually. Otherwise I would not have been able to jump, but yeah, that unlocked my ability to jump. In order to then stay on those upside down loops, I had to make sure I actually boosted. Otherwise I definitely would have fallen off, but yeah, that's no problem at all. And then at the ramp at the end of that path, I jump before I hit the trigger that sends me into the ship, and then boost towards a set of rings in the distance where I know the path is going to spawn, and land on that path. Saves about 20 seconds. Now we just have auto running, there's no way to speed this up, I could just, make sure I have full boost towards the end of it. Yada yada yada. But yeah, with that I skipped an entire 2D section on the inside of the ship. I really like that skip. I used to hate it because I was very inconsistent at it and reset to it a lot, to the point where I named it the Gate Guardian. Also in the meantime we have Best Wisp. This is Cube Wisp. It turns cube rings into cube blocks and vice versa. That was hopefully the only use of it we'll see, unless I miserably fail one of the stages later. Now, here I'm gonna try to avoid becoming a Sonic Pancake by boosting all the way and then sliding right at the end. If I don't slide there, then my hitbox will actually be high enough that it will just pancake me. Yeah, that was a good Act 1, for sure. And thank you for the good luck, folks. Alrighty. Act 2. Hopefully this one should be really fast. We're going to be making a lot of use of Spike Wisp once again. And I will also be making a lot of use of its ability to stop the spin dash by pressing the A button. That way I will not use as much meter on it, which will allow me to only have to use the single Spike Wisp. And I'm kind of messing up the movement right now. Yeah. Okay. By going into Spike Wisp there, I managed to save myself, because going into Spike Wisp refreshes your double jump. I did not mean to fall down there. But we are safe. Saved it. Whew. That was one of the more interesting stages in Starlight Carnival. This is one of the less interesting ones. Bunch of auto-scrolling going on with these bouncy platforms. And I could just, the horizontal ones, I could just make sure to stay ahead of them so they move faster, but when they go upwards, I can't really do anything at all. So I'm just gonna collect some rings. I don't want those 10 rings. That electric enemy looked at me funny. I don't want it. He was planning to ruin my day, dude. But yeah, pretty much just hold right to make the bouncy platform go as fast as possible. And then jump into the goal ring. Act 4, a lot of people don't really like this one. A lot of other runners. That's merely because they're bad at it. Yes, I'm calling you out, Getters and Kirby Master. This is actually my favorite stage in the zone, just because the platforming is really fun. But yeah, you gotta beat the cycles on all of those things. I actually gotta make sure I don't hit those orbs myself either, because those orbs do actually have a gravitational field. I can, like, if I had damage and vulnerability, I would be able to just keep boosting on them and run in circles. Yes. Start of Carnival Act 4 is a good stage. Now we have more auto running here. This particular one, like every auto run section, acts differently. Sometimes you don't have to do anything at all. With this one, I just have to hold forward and like not do any stomps or anything in order to go as fast as possible. And then I just need to make sure that by the end I have a full boost capsule. It's like I can afford to miss one. There's one during the diving section coming up, which I guess is the 4th type of 3D section that I always forget about. Because, you know, diving sections. Alright, let's see if I hit my head so I can get as smooth of a 2D section as I wanted. No problem at all. And now we're gonna get the Hover Wisp. And the Hover Wisp unlocks the Light Dash ability, so I can dash along these trails of rings. And whenever you're light dashing, the meter does not deplete. So what I'm doing here is I'm mashing the Light Dash button, since it will activate the effects of the meter not depleting over and over. And I can get significantly more usage out of my Hover Wisp. Going to be using that in the 3D section coming up as well. But first, let me get rid of these guys with the boost. Alrighty. Mashy, mashy, mashy. Fortunately, you don't have to be super good at mashing in order to do these strats, but yeah, you gotta be at least somewhat decent. I'm basically just good enough. Alright, X6. This is the other good stage in Starlight Carnival. There's a lot of cool movement here. Gonna be trying to avoid using the Hover Wisp as much as possible, but there's definitely gonna be places where it's just straight up gonna be faster. Thanks to these light dashes as well. Gotta make sure I manage my meter properly. And at this point I can start mashing, now that there's no longer trails of rings nearby me. And I can make sure it runs out exactly there. And then not use the Hover Wisp for the entirety of the rest of the stage. Instead, I'm just gonna bounce on this enemy, do a wall jump to get to these enemies. And there you go, that's X6. I really like that strat at the end. Boss fight, let's go. So, this guy, he has several parts where I can hit him, and every part can only take like so many hits. After it gets damaged too much, you can like not hit it as much as previously. So at first, I'm gonna be able to hit this guy 10 times. For the next phase, I can hit him 10 times as well, but I'm actually only gonna homing attack him 9 times. And then for the last hit, I'm gonna do a laser. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last hit for the laser. The laser does 16 homing attacks worth of damage. So that is super worth. Now, his center is now too damaged to hit him another 9 times, which I need to do. So instead, I'm gonna hope he goes to the side, and I need to make sure I get laser as well. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At this point, only his engines I can hit like 9 times with a homing attack and then still do a laser on it. So that is random where he goes. He either chooses one of the 3 paths or specifically the path that you are on, so you can improve your chances by staying on the side lanes. If he goes for the center lane, you can't reach the engines, so that is a little bit of a luck factor. But not too much of a problem. If you've enjoyed this run so far, well, don't worry. We've just like finished the boring half. We're actually getting to the really good half now. Planet Wisp and Aquarium Park and Asteroid Coaster are very high action. They are my favorite zones in that order. This is normally the stage where you unlock the Spike Wisp. And I'm actually going to be jumping over some real boosters here in order to avoid having my speed capped and all that kind of stuff. Music here is also great. But yeah, Planet Wisp I would say is the only zone in the game where I like speedrunning every single stage of it. It's definitely a difficult zone, but it's pretty fun. I feel pretty good about this run so far, so thank you for the compliments, game. I appreciate it. Oh. Right, little quick step section right here. And actually avoid that ramp because it's slightly slower. Unless you do that, but not a big deal, still made it up. And then we have these things that I can make it shoot me in every direction. Now the game wants me to take that spike mace, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go towards the back instead. And there's the goal ring right there. Yeah, I see a lot of talk about Sonic Forces in the chat, and it's like, say what you want, it is actually a really good speed game, and the Blue Mania is gonna absolutely destroy it later. It's gonna be very fun. Alright, now this stage, there's a very, very finicky clip here. Let's see if I can get it. I did not. You kind of have to trick the game you're into on a different layer of the 2D section so that you essentially phase through that part of this stage. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. I'd say that's the least consistent thing in the run for me at the moment, so I'm not all too surprised. Only wastes like 7 seconds if you don't get it though. Good platforming there. Okay, gonna bounce on that guy's head in order to get up here. And then skip some other strings. Fun stage. I like it. Righto. Now this stage, we once again have the quick step section at the start right here. And during this, I'm actually going to be picking up a laser wisp, but I'm not going to be using it until later. Because I actually want to make sure I can use it right at the end. I'm also going to be quick stepping off the side here, because otherwise I will hit a trigger that will cap my speed, which will prevent me from doing that jump that I did right there. Now with a good ramp jump, alright, that looks good. I can make it over those blocks and then shoot a laser right through the hole right here and fall down into the goal ring. Very nice. Yeah, boy. Now for Act 4, at the start, not gonna be too much of interest. Just gotta tap the boost button a couple of times to make like a proper sharp turn. Feeling pretty good about this Planet Wisp so far. Thank you, game. I appreciate you, that you appreciate me. Those walls that I just slid under have a pretty funky hitbox, so if you don't get on the ground like fast enough at the start, then it's very likely that your slide will get stopped. And now I'm gonna ricochet this laser off the wall in order to skip a bunch of sections ahead and go straight up here to the rail that leads to the end. Very nice. Now this is a very short stage. And because I have boost, I can actually take the top route here. In a normal any percent run, I would start with 0 boost, so I would have to take the bottom route in order to kill a robot that gives me boost for the rest of the stage. So it's an additional couple of seconds, which is very nice to have. Alright, now this one can be really tricky. Later on, I'm going to be doing a pretty scary jump off a rail, after which I'm going to use my 3D speed, because you move faster in 3D than you do in 2D, to then boost into the 2D section. I actually messed up the strats beforehand, so I'm going to play it safe, so that I don't have to land on these platforms right here. Alrighty. Because if you don't get to one of the like solid platforms, then you'll have to land on those rotating platforms, and that is very scary indeed. Now the last part of the stage is actually not very good, normally. Fortunately though, I have access to Spike Wisp, so I could just boost towards the sidewall and skip everything. There we go. That final section has the worst camera in the entirety of the game. Now if this boss looks familiar, that's right, it's pretty much just a reskin of the Tropical Resort boss. And there you go, he's dead. Pretty similar strat, except this time I use Spike Wisp. And after I hit him once, he is normally supposed to go into an attack that makes him invulnerable for a while, which I then have to stop by boosting into his hands. But after that attack, there is one frame where he is actually able to be damaged. So all I did is I made sure that I was in the Spike Wisp form before he, you know, got to that vulnerable frame, and it will automatically damage him as long as I'm in front of his face. Dude, nice, Pasture. I really like video games as well. Alright, this stage is going to have a pretty cool 3D and 2D if I can get it. Going to boost to the side right here, allowing me to get over the wall. Just gotta land on a little strip of land that's just out of bounds. Jump around an invisible wall right here. Okay. There we go. I am now 3D in the 2D section, so my speed is significantly higher than it's supposed to be, and I can just kind of weave in and out of the stage. Oh yeah. And skip the vast majority of it with fast strats. Now for the next stage I actually specifically do not want boost, because it's very difficult with boost. So I'm actually made sure I got rid of all of my boost at the end there. I really like that strat. Super cool. This stage is just a bunch of platforming. Really good platforming at that. This is generally the stage I use to warm up to make sure that my inputs are timed properly. One of the biggest problems that Colors has is that the animations have a lot of like dead frames, as I like to call them, where you just cannot do any inputs or it will eat them and have like a bit of a cooldown period. So you gotta really make sure that you know when you can and cannot do your inputs in the animation. And that is a really good stage for getting used to that. Now we get to an unfortunately kind of a bad stage, honestly, just because you have the underwater movement. In this game, at least you can like jump infinitely underwater, so that helps it for sure. And you have these things that blow you downwards to speed things up. Gotta make sure I don't drown by getting a bubble. Alright. But yeah, when you do not have a drill wisp, then underwater movement is really slow. Fortunately, in the next stage with underwater movement, Act 4, I will have a drill wisp. Now I use the rocket to get up here fast. And there we go. So, this is what we get when you do the drill wisp on the water. Much faster, can use the pipes, all that good stuff. Just gotta make sure that I do my stomps properly in order to get the drill wisp as fast as possible. There we go. Right on the money. And right on the money again. And I see a lot of talk in chat about like, I think this game is better, I like this game, I don't like this game. It's like, guys, don't worry about it, just enjoy the show, have fun with video games, man. That's what it's all about. Just play what you find fun, ignore the rest. That's how I see it. And at least you also always know that you'll have a hell of a speedrun to watch, because Sonic games tend to be super broken. Right, now we have to chase the sequence right here at the end. And if I quick step at the right time, then I can actually get 2 of the boost capsules here at once. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get. Other than that, I just gotta make sure I don't get hit by the lasers. Do-do. Alrighty. Next up, we have Act 5. This is going to be another bouncy platforming nonsense. The start of this is actually really cool. I really like the platforming here. I just basically try to avoid this bouncy platform at all costs. I do gotta stay near it though, otherwise the camera will get locked on the bouncy platform and it will stop attempting to follow me. Which means that I would have to do the entire rest of the stage blind. But yeah, I really like that platforming section. And then right here at the end, we're gonna have a quite big section where I'm just gonna have to bounce upwards. So there's nothing really too much going on around here. So Polly, if you have like any incentives to plug or donations to read, go ahead. I'm just gonna like bounce along to the music.
Yes. No, let me look though. I don't believe we have any, but let me check.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure those are from earlier.
No worries, we're done with the boring part anyway, so now we get another really fun stage right here. The underwater section at the start can flow really well if I get my inputs right. Alright, didn't hit the fish on my way after I did the air dash, so I gotta make sure I get 3 fish right there for a full boost meter. Because I do want full boost for the section coming up. And later on in the stage we're gonna have another 3 in 2D, which is really cool. Because the game never intends you to be underwater while also having 3D physics, so by getting that, we are gonna be able to do some really cool stuff. First, I gotta make sure I manage my hover meter properly right here. There's a quite difficult platforming section coming up that I can get a really good setup for. Pick up another hover wisp along the way. Just boost over it all. With some good timing and good jumps. And then right here, I'm going to be using the hover wisp in order to go upwards. I'm going to be going over some invisible walls, skipping a very long fight section, and I'm going to land into the next 2D section while trying to hit the water. I need to make sure I hit the water in the actual 2D section. If I hit it to the side of it, then it won't actually trigger the water physics. But because of that, I could just skip the entire water section, because you have the underwater infinite jump while also having the underwater physics. Now this is another rehash of the Sweet Mountain boss. It's gonna be roughly the same deal. I gotta make sure that that white tornado over there, torpedo, gets destroyed, because it has a drill wisp in it. And then I gotta make sure that said torpedo doesn't break on like anything that is like either the final capsule or my face. Basically, as long as it hits anything else, I get the drill wisp, but if it hits me or if it hits the final capsule, then I need to open to hit the switch, then it will not give me the drill. So I specifically guided into that glass bubble. And after that, I guide the other black torpedo towards the end to break the capsule and hit the switch. Once again, this is supposed to be like 3 ship sections and then 3 underwater sections where you hit the guy, but instead we're just gonna chase him down with drill. I do hope that I can get him fast with the drill. If I miss him, then it can actually go very, very badly, because he moves really fast when he knows you're chasing him. But that is Aquarium Park. Which means we have one more set of 6 stages and a boss to go, and then we're going into the final zone. And the zone coming up is like it is the final hurdle to your PB. It is the most difficult zone in the game. There are a lot of really difficult tricks and skips here. I am gonna go for all of them. So cool. They also have roller coasters. I would recommend that you do not jump in roller coasters. It does not actually work like this. So do not try at home. If you do try it at home, please invite me because you have a roller coaster at home. But yeah, this zone is really cool. Alrighty. First, I'm going to be skipping the introduction of a new wisp called Frenzy, as well as a 2D section and another roller coaster section, just by just kind of going over the invisible wall and boosting towards the next section. Gonna get that robot for some extra boost because I'm gonna need it. And then right here, I'm going to be avoiding this ramp so that I can go as far left as possible. And I'm gonna try to avoid the 2D trigger again. Alright, that looks good. Now I am once again 3D and 2D. And there we go, that means I can just jump around it all. It's not that big of a skip, only saves 5 seconds. And I would like to give special shoutouts to Kirby Master for accidentally finding that by completely forgetting how to do the old strats. He did that in a very rusty race. And without that, we would not have that skip, so thank you, Kirby Master. Now this is Frenzy, he just kind of goes on a frenzy, as the name suggests. But he also has a really powerful jump attack, especially when combined with a ramp. Oh boy, I did not time that well at all. So if I time that jump attack with the Frenzy running out, I can get a lot of height from it. Unfortunately, I cannot homing attack that bottom spring. So I gotta either dash towards the other bottom spring, or I gotta homing attack the top one. With this, I can skip a bit of a 2D section. There we go. It's not too difficult of a skip, but every now and then it gets you. No worries. The real difficult skip is coming up though. It is the hardest 3D and 2D that we currently do in the run. But it is also one of the coolest, because this stage introduces gravity fields. Which means my gravity will get turned upside down and it's going to be really wonky. So I'm going to try to get into those gravity fields while being 3D. Let's see if I can get it. Shut up for a bit and focus. Just too far to the right. I tried to land on a bit of a strip there that is just out of bounds. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. You only get one shot at it too, because you need boost for this trick. Yeah, I'm not too surprised I messed that one up. It's the most difficult skip in the run. So now you get to see this section that we otherwise would have skipped. Otherwise I would have landed on those extending platforms upside down and then boosted straight towards the goal ring. Now you get to see how it's done normally. No worries, I can still skip some of the cycles. By just going down here and then boosting as soon as the other platform retreats. So that's a bit of a shame, but at least because of that I have some boost on this stage, so this will go like a second faster. Not worth it at all, considering the other skip saves like 20 seconds, but still. There we go. Very short stage, shortest stage in the game. Hope you didn't blink. And the shortest stage in the game is followed by the most difficult stage in the game. This is some top quality difficult speed strats right here. Hugging the center and jumping because air momentum is faster. I hope I can get this, guys. Now, really difficult stuff here. I gotta go towards the outer ring because there's a switch here that will spawn the goal ring. Alright. I did it, guys. We're in there. Good stuff. So yeah, after two not too interesting stages, we do get Asteroid Coaster 5 though. I'm actually going to hit those lasers to damage boost and then fall backwards right through it. These lasers get up here. And I'm gonna get another laser wisp right here, and if I do my activation right, I can clear all of the robots in one go, which I'm pretty sure I got. Yep, got the God Laser. 16, very nice. Now we get to Act 6. This stage has 2 big skips. One of them is exclusive to Act Shuttle, because you need boost at the start of the stage to do it. Which is only possible during the Act Shuttle run. Which makes it difficult to practice. Okay. I didn't hold right while jumping. I was supposed to jump out of the roller coaster there and then hit and then boost into those rings that you see there. But yeah, you gotta hold right in time for that. Since I failed that, I'm gonna take these rings instead because it's a little bit faster. That wastes 10 seconds. Oh well, no worries. That is the dumbest way I've ever failed that though, not holding right in time. Still though, the rest of the stage is going to be very broken as well, because this stage once again has water, and I also have a way to break out, and a way to get 3D physics. Which means that we're gonna have water physics while being 3D again, which is going to be super broken. I'm going to use this pogo pole with a boost and a stomp in order to break out. You can get the fast breakouts, so I'm going to go for this upper pole instead. Now since I failed the first one, I do have to pay attention to my air meter a lot here. I can get 3D physics from this dive section at the start right here, and then we're just gonna boost straight to the goal ring, skipping the entire rest of the stage as well as the mini boss fight. And there's the goal ring right there, before I drown. Very nice. And now it's time for this boss. This boss is really fun. I'm only gonna hit him 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which will make him drop the rocket. The game intends you to use that rocket to skip the 2D section and go straight to the 3D section where you can hit him more. I'm not gonna use it for that. I'm just gonna hit him once so he goes 2D, and then I'm going to use the rocket on him instead to damage him. But not only that. Okay. I pressed the wrong button. Very nice. This will no longer work because the portals are already gone. So I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and... Oh, it still worked. I thought the portals needed to be there. Regardless. That was surprising to me. I learned something new. Still, I used the rocket on him, then stumped in order to change his AI. And yeah, he kind of drops the spike balls and bodies himself on it. That was a very weird explanation because I didn't think it would work, but it did. But yo, that is the end of the interesting stuff. Now we have basically auto-scroller for quite a while. Just gotta make sure that I, don't die to these lasers. Towards the end of this, there is actually going to be another chaser sequence. For that, I gotta make sure that I manage my boost properly, because at the end of the chaser sequence, he is gonna go off camera, and I can no longer see where the lasers are gonna come from. So I gotta make sure I stay ahead of the lasers at all times with the boost. So instead, rather than, dealing with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the boss that is coming up, which is the final boss, which, funnily enough, is not the last stage. There's another, very cinematic stage right after that. But yeah, the boss is essentially a random fiesta. First, let me deal with this chaser. I'm gonna make sure that I use these hops to keep my momentum, and hopefully I will get the lasers in the correct spots. Just gotta preserve enough boost that I can do the upcoming section. This is looking pretty good. Alright, yeah. But yeah, the final boss. So he's going to start out by doing a cube attack. That is always the same. It's different whether he uses 8 or 6 cubes, but that's like literal frames that he saves. And after that, it's going to start to get random. As a matter of fact, he's going to do either a spike or a laser attack. They're both pretty fast, but I kind of want the laser attack because that will allow for the optimal pattern, and it's slightly faster. So let's see what I get. First the cubes. Alright, 6 cubes. Save frames, very nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and homing attack him. After that I'm going to boost into his face to deal him some extra damage. Alrighty. Now he's gonna go, oh wait, no. Now he's gonna go and do that, either the spike or the laser attack. After which he's gonna go behind me and do 2 more attacks that I will have to avoid. Now he got spikes, so I don't get the optimal pattern. But hopefully I at least luck out with the next 2 attacks, because they can waste a lot of time, because when he's behind you, he can do combination attacks. He can combine cube with laser or cube with spikes, and those animations are incredibly slow. Cube spike can also be a bit tricky to avoid at times. Alright, got laser. That's a fast attack. I preferably want laser as the second attack, because if he does that, he skips an animation. But hey, I got laser and I got spikes. That is still really fast attacks, so I like it. But yeah, for some reason, if he does laser as his second attack there, he will skip an animation when he goes in front of you, so you can attack him faster. There we go. And now the last 3 attacks are completely fixed. He's gonna start with spikes, then he's going to do a giant cube maze, and then he's gonna do another set of lasers. This was very nice RNG indeed. Music starts getting really epic here, but unfortunately the fight is over really quickly, so you don't get to hear much of it. Alrighty. Combine all of the wisps into a rainbow attack. Oh yeah. Taste the rainbow. And that's the boss. That was good RNG. I like it. And now we are gonna have one last stage coming up. You cannot speed this up at all. The time for this is always 28.89. So do get ready on time, because as soon as that in-game timer stops, it is ogre. Just gotta make sure I don't die. But hey, only noobs would die on this stage. I certainly have never, cough cough, died on this stage. Or the boss. No sir. Very cinematic shot right here. And get ready. Time. Alright, it should be like 51?
51, 53.
51.53, nice. Yeah, that's a 44 in-game time. That is not bad at all for a no reset run. Unfortunately, Asteroid Coaster Act 2 didn't go that well, but it is the hardest stage in the run, so it happens. But I'm very happy with that. That went much better than my super hard mode run. Much better.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. That one was like 9 minutes behind my PB. But yeah. That's Sound of Colors. Hope you enjoyed. A bit like, you know, not as it was intended in the schedule, but hey. Had to make sure that that we actually have someone that can do a run, rather instead of like someone whose power is out. So yeah, Zaxxon with Mania Tails will definitely come back up later. Yeah, it should be right after the Sonic Generations race, so it should be good. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. I had a good time. That was fun.